Unlike other development studios that lie about time-gated earned content, I'm looking at you, Treyarch, Epic actually owned up to their mistake regarding the 14 Days of Fortnite event, plus we got a new patch that just dropped to go over. Part 3 of the 7.10 content update introduces a new item that you could use on the Week 5 challenge to eliminate enemies with suppressed weapons, as a silent sniper that was previously found in the game files is now finally live. It's an epic and legendary variants only, with the damage model being weaker than the single-shot heavy sniper at 100 and 105 base damage respectively, due to the silencer making it harder for people to hear how passively you're playing the game. There's also another new item with the patch, and by new I mean a previously vaulted item that people despised when they found it, yet are somehow now excited that it's back with the dual pistols. But in order to not upset the pistol ratio, the 6-shooter, which is a renaming and slight reskin of a previously vaulted revolver, has now also been sent to the vault for a second time, taking with it to the vault the non-FAMAS versions of the burst rifle, uncommon, common, and rare, so this way you can use those medium bullets on the dual pistols instead. Unfortunately, Epic didn't change the burst rifle drop rates, so they put in a hotfix to remove the Oprah-esque "everybody gets a FAMAS" to remove the 3 vaulted versions of the weapon dropping out of nearly every chest. Speaking of lower drop rates, the dynamite is reduced now to 40%, as well as the boombox getting a nerf in the form of a reduced drop rate by 33%, lowered the health from 600 to 400, and the duration has been reduced from 25 seconds to 18 seconds, so that building, you know, the thing that separates this game from other generic battle royales, is actually a viable tactic again. There's also more nerfs to the plane, with actually penalizing players that can't fly like R. Kelly, with a 50% increased collision damage, increasing the spread of the machine gun by 75%. The player knockback from getting jet rammed like a bad Battlefield player is reduced by 70%, and decreasing the spawn chances from 100% to 80%. So this way, things like positioning and not getting your structures kamikazed actually matter. Lastly, in changes, the supply drop health has been lowered to 250 in solo, 500 in duos, and 750 in squads, so this way they'll drop out of the sky like a Malaysian airline flight. Unfortunately for players looking for a new way to get around the map, because just like your average American thinks walking and running is overrated, the previously teased drift board that was supposed to be in the December 18th patch and is even in the fucking Week 4 loading screen is still not in the game with the current update. Much like how its prediction in Back to the Future for 2015 didn't come true, it's still not even in the video game in 2019. However, the 14 Days of Fortnite challenges that were introduced in 2018 are now back for the next week here in 2019. This whole saga has been a roller coaster for players that don't enjoy the holidays and would rather play video games antisocially than spend time with their families. I don't really understand why Epic chose 14 Days of Fortnite if they were going to mimic the famous 12 Days of Christmas Carol with the challenges, unless they added the 2 extra days in there because they knew they'd be on break and actually had the foresight to pad things out in order to keep their fans interested, unlike what DICE did with Battlefield 5 and the Tides of War live service buzzword. Then there was a developer that communicated incorrectly that players would have additional time after day 14 to complete the challenges for the rewards, which then got players heated because the event unceremoniously ended with some under the assumption that they didn't have to make this their part-time job by logging in every day just to complete their assignment. As a response, Epic decided to give the day 14 reward of the Equalizer glider to everyone as compensation, because only 24 hours wasn't enough time to loot 14 chests apparently, even though you should probably finish that in a single match unless you're playing the game wrong. This still wasn't enough for players that didn't complete the other 13 challenges, because people are usually away for the holiday breaks instead of hiding in their dungeons playing games, so Epic decided to extend the 14 Days of Fortnite event until January 15th at 3 AM Eastern Standard Time. However, all progress towards challenges that weren't completed have been reset, as well as a chance to have shitty limited time game modes come back to replace the actual decent ones. Hopefully this will placate the FOMO people. However, it also means that the initial rewards have been devalued because they won't be as rare anymore, even though the majority of them are shit that nobody really wants, like emoticons, sprays, or loading screens. As for the challenges themselves and how to complete them, the first challenge was to try to get people interested in a mode when you're not actually playing the game, with jumping into a creative lobby to get the GG ornament spray. The second challenge is to visit 2 candy canes in order to have your breath not reek of eggnog, of which there are 4 around the map located here on your screen, and your reward is this festive firefight loading screen. Day 3 is play 3 matches with a friend. That might be a struggle if you're #forever alone, but you get a snowball emote that you could throw at people in order to complete Day 4's challenge, which is to nail players in 4 different matches with said snowball. That is easiest to do in the pregame lobby when players are just standing around in order to grant you the snowman emote. Epic finally gets a tie-in with the lyrics here on Day 5 with flying through 5 golden rings located on the map scene here, and the reward of a wreath and sword back bling. Day 6 continues the lyrical tie-in theme with visiting 6 goose nests where the eggs in the aforementioned song have been laid, found in the map shown here, which will grant you this crackshot special loading screen, which is a picture of a scene from the Season 7 trailer, because Epic is just lazy like that. Day 7, however, doesn't allude to the song, much like most of the rest of the challenges, which they started well with 5 and 6 and then just said fuck it for the rest of the days. For this one, you need to use 7 boogie bombs or presents, which means just toss them out like those awful greedy Santa gifts as soon as you get them, and your reward for that is the gingerbread man pet, so it's one that you'll actually want to complete because it's not a shite throwaway item. Another cosmetic that you'll actually want, Day 8, is to damage opponents with 8 different types of weapons, so gobble up some of the more useless guns that aren't an AR or shoddy in order to get the Take the Elf emote as a play on the Take the L emote, but tons more rapey because it's a silly mating dance wagging mistletoe in front of unwilling participants. Speaking of dancing, Day 9 is not just for ladies dancing, but you'll have to dance in front of holiday trees, which are located here on this map, and there's also one on the spawn island for an easy tally that will reward you with a snow globe icon. Day 10 requires you to land tricks in 10 different named locations, so you'll need a quad crusher or ATK vehicle and pretend it's 2010 with the YY fakey fakey trick shot moves from when Call of Duty was actually popular in order to earn the holiday Stormwing spray. Day 11 is another challenge of actual value with the frozen pickaxe being rewarded for thanking the bus driver in 11 different matches, which can be done while in the bus at the start of the round before you jump out by pressing the emote button. Day 12 is every alt-rider's wet dream by destroying 12 snowflakes which are hung around named areas. Be sure to look out for the smaller ones in windows of houses, or do it all in one shot if you land it tilted, because there's more than 12 just hanging there. And you'll get the snowflake emoticon for completion. For Day 13, you'll need to again hop into creative mode as Epic tries to shove its new idea outsourcing onto its fans and place 13 vehicles or traps called devices in the description in order to get the sweet looking disco wrap that should have been called tinfoil, since it actually doesn't glisten in the lightning like a disco ball does. Day 14, as I already mentioned, is searching 14 chests for the equalizer glider, but since everybody's already got that, you don't really have to complete that challenge now, do you? In addition to those challenges, the week 6 challenges that are set to go live on Thursday have already also been leaked. For people that didn't want to throw down on a carrot to dangle, you'll have to eliminate 3 opponents in either Lucky Landing or Tilted Towers, which will be easier on the latter than the former. Deal damage with multiple different weapons in one match, although it doesn't say how many will be juggling like a circus act. And finally, a stage challenge for dealing 200 damage with an SMG, then 200 damage with an AR. That should be easily done in 1 or 2 matches if you're playing the meta. And finally, dealing 200 damage with nades, clingers, or stink bombs, which is infuriating to get players to stand still long enough for them to actually get damaged by one of those. For those stealers of mom's credit card for the battle pass, you'll need to search ammo boxes in different named locations that you should be doing anyway, so I don't have to drop your ass more ammo since you Elmer fudded away all of yours. Sliding an ice puck over 150 meters in a single throw, which is an item that you get from tier 28 of the battle pass, so I'd suggest doing it near a big fuck off mountain or what used to be shifty shafts before it froze like a bear's kicker, as well as a stage challenge of visiting 2 locations in a single match, starting with Polar Peaks and Tilted Towers, then Lucky Landing and Retail Row, and finally ending with Lazy Links and Shifty Shafts. The last challenge has you searching for chili gnomes, which I'm assuming is different than the previous gnome challenge locations because they'll be reskinned as appropriate for weather that's too fucking cold, but here are the spots from the last gnome challenge in case they help at all with this one. Complete all of the challenges, and unlike the gnomes being reskinned for the appropriate time of year, you'll apparently get this loading screen with the in again, out again, then in again onesie skin that you get from tier 87 of the battle pass, getting creeped on by Tomato Head up on the hill there with binoculars in what seems to be a summertime-like setting because there's no snow in sight and people are actually eating outdoors. What in the fuck does this have to do with the winter theme? While there aren't any new cosmetic leaks with the patch as of this time, there are 3 emotes that have yet to be released that were leaked with the last set of code updates, with Lazy Shuffle for people that like screeching as a form of music, Cheer Up, which is what people are telling Alabama fans everywhere after last night's blowout, and the only thing that was actually worth watching in that game were the cheerleaders, and Time Out, which, as you tell your mom all the time, is impossible in an online multiplayer game. In addition, there was a tweet from the official KFC account of a Chicken Champ skin concept that I'm sure will come at some point into Fortnite because Epic is great at stealing other people's ideas and using using them for their own financial gain. Creative mode, the block. However, Epic isn't being all that greedy because they are making their cross-platform SDK services open source to share with the world. The roadmap is as follows: first quarter of 2019, data storage and cloud saves; third quarter of 2019, achievements and trophies, voice communications, and PC Mac overlays; and lastly, by the end of the year, cross-platform party and matchmaking algorithms. Now, gaming platforms won't have an excuse of it being too difficult for cross-play anymore. They will instead just get exposed for being the greedy little cunts that we all know they are when they refuse to play a ball. Anyways, what do you think about the reintroduction of the 14 Days of Fortnite challenges and the changes brought about by the patch? Press F10 in the comment section for the burst AR. I've been the Schwantz27, making like Tigger and bouncing. Until next time.